In 1943, while the world was at war, in southern Colorado, a little girl, 8 years old, named Bernie, was fighting a deadly battle of her own. When the precocious child suddenly became feverish and delirious, her mother knew something was terribly wrong. So she summoned the country doctor. When he got there, he wasn't sure what was wrong with Bernie, but he had his suspicions, enough that he quarantined the entire family, put Bernie in the back of his Model T, and drove as fast as he could to Denver's Children's Hospital. By the time they arrived in Denver, Bernie could no longer sit up, her legs were paralyzed, and she could barely breathe. The doctors slid Bernie's fragile little body into an iron lung and shook their heads. Polio. The devastating epidemic would sweep through our war-torn country and become the enemy within, as dangerous and as deadly as the enemy without. Epidemic. The word has had the ability to breed fear into the hearts of men since the dawn of civilization. Years ago, all the ancients had to fight diseases like measles, smallpox, influenza, and typhoid, or things like superstition. When I learned of a 3rd century plague that nearly toppled the Roman Empire, I thought of the terror and the panic that must have gone through those people, and I felt for them. I understood what they went through. You see, Bernie was my mother. While the plague that struck the 3rd century was not polio, but rather a fiery rash and a horrendous fever, the same terror accompanied this unknown pathogen. What was causing it? Where did it come from? And how could they keep their children safe? Bernie went on to have a normal and happy life. She lived 66 years after that diagnosis. Bernie was one of the lucky ones. Some of those in Rome were not.